today we are going to talk about something that I have a strong love-hate relationship with.
Oh, me?
Any guesses? Actually, that could be anything. So
chocolate.
That makes no sense.
No. Oh, am I not? Are we going rogue on this one?
No. Okay.
So I don't know what's going on here, do I?
No, you don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. I would say I would give my life. If someone said you could die now and social media would be wiped off the face of the earth forever, I would say kill me. Genuinely. Yeah.
All right, we're going in hard on this one. Okay.
Spoiler. It's social media.
Social media.
Yes. I just hate it. At the moment specifically, I think I just hate it.
Okay, social media, right.
Yes.
But you are quite active on social media.
Correct. I am very active on social media.
Okay.
So it's a double-edged sword, isn't it, really?
It is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this is quite good because I'm active.
You're
but
active,
I'm not as active. I'm not as active as you.
You're active, but I would say not in a way that's detrimental to your mental health.
To my health, yeah. But although, okay, right, good. This will be quite a good conversation then.
Yeah, I think our experiences are very
different.
Perspectives, experiences. We're just
Okay.
So
dive right in.
I've got to start us off some wonderful statistics that I really love.
God.
That really just put things into perspective. So the average person, I'm laughing because you just picked up your phone. The average person touches their phone, uses their phone. This is like swiping, picking it up, whatever. 2,600 times a day.
That's a lie.
That's
a lie.
I saw that stat. I was like, obviously this is
2,000 times.
2,600 times. No.
I don't put my phone down enough to pick it back up 2,000 times a day.
But I think that
I'm
means,
probably on it more.
Yeah,
to be
I'm just on it consistently.
Yeah,
once.
exactly.
It's
I probably
the whole
put it
day.
down a few times, but
that just involves any time. You know, if you just pick it, like you just touch it, or you know sometimes
I touch it.
you don't even pick it up. You just press the screen.
Yeah.
See if any
check the
there's any
time.
messages.
I don't even check my watch. I check the time on the phone.
And then apparently in the US, people spend on average 2 hours and 3 minutes on social media a day. That made me laugh because I was like, that's
2
nothing.
hours?
Literally,
Rookies.
that's nothing. I'm on it 5 hours a day minimum. Yeah, so it's quite a lot of time that we're spending on there, and I think it actually really hit me this morning. I just thought, do you know what? I'm fully addicted to social media.
Yeah.
Fully addicted.
I think it is an addiction. Yeah, 100%. Like for me, where I find it most is when I'm hungover on a Sunday. I want attention, and I'll post a nice photo from the weekend.
Yeah.
And I want the likes.
It's the self-validation.
Yeah. And it's like a quick hit.
Yeah. But then it's that instant like gratification. But then afterwards you're like, oh, I want more.
To be honest, there's so many elements to social media. We're talking about our own personal profiles, but obviously there's such a wider influence on there as well. In terms of like, I think you particularly are influenced by other people on there. I don't, because
that's where we differ.
As you know, my social media is very boring and just of like...
You follow like meme accounts and just your mates.
Memes, mates, and a bit of history. Yeah. Like National Trust accounts and stuff like that. So the stuff that pops up isn't...
Safe things.
But if I followed people, for instance, that had incredible bodies and or looked great or was in like a great couple and that was constantly being pushed in my face, probably wouldn't get too bothered. But when I was having a down day...
It would get to you.
It would get to me. Yeah. And then I think it becomes a bigger problem because then you're overthinking like, wow, I'm feeling shit today and that's made me feel even worse. Oh my God. And then you just start...
The spiraling.
It's a spiral. It's a snowball. I reckon if I started following those accounts now, I would start snowballing.
I promise you. So recently in lockdown, when we were in like peak lockdown, I just had to do a cull. Because I was scrolling through my newsfeed and I'm seeing these people who I don't even fucking know. Like literally randomers who are... living their best life, obviously haven't been affected whatsoever in the pandemic. They're multimillionaires, they've got some kind of weird... Do they work? I don't think they do work. They're just somehow inaudibly rich. They're getting sent free stuff all the time. I'm literally going through, I'm like, why am I following these people? Like, they're giving me depression.
But can I just say though, that's the issue. Like, not the issue, this is not the formula, but what I'm saying is, I don't look at social media and I don't look at these people and think you have a happy life, because I actually don't think they do. I think people that really push themselves on social media, they have such a responsibility and a weight on their shoulders, and I just genuinely don't think it's real. So I don't basically look at social media as a real thing. I always see it as like a very, like almost a fairy tale. It's not real to me because I just think they're not living their best lives. They don't get me wrong, their quality of life is probably much better than mine, but I guarantee you they'll there'll be, you know, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
No, I know,
and I know
true.
it's always said, we're just repeating what's being said, but I genuinely do believe that.
I think you're right. It's weird because even knowing that, and I do know that, and I'll give you an example of when I really kind of got to grips with that, was I was following this couple. They were, I mean, I guess you could say they're like influencers. They had a really big following, and they would always post this stuff about, they do these videos together, and they basically painted this whole picture of themselves having this like perfect relationship. They were this amazing couple. They were really cute. They did all these funny things together. I used to talk to them. I'd be like, oh God, like it would just get to me a bit about being single, and I'd be like, oh God, like they look so happy.
Yeah, it would get to me if I was watching that.
And then a friend, basically we had a mutual friend, so a friend of mine knew her personally, and they ended up breaking up. And I clocked straight away because she stopped posting about him.
Because you were obsessed.
I'm a psychopath and stalking him every day. Me messaging her like, hi, I haven't seen your boyfriend in a while. Is everything good? Just checking in. And she, my friend, our mutual friend told me, she was like, oh my God, they hated each other. As in, she was literally like, he was like basically nearly abusive to her. It was so bad that she had to break up with him because he was disgusting to her. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, up is down, left is right. Because they just posted this whole
because it's thing. Fake. It's not real. It's because
why would you do that?
Because I don't know.
Well, they were doing it to get...
Well, they were doing it to get fine, but I know when I was in a relationship, and I remember actually distinctly, we just nearly broken up. And we finally got, like, was on good speaking terms again. And I remember he was laid on my bed, and he was, like, laid on top of me, and I remember being like, I took a photo, put it on my story, being like, my happy place. But if people were watching that story that knew me, would have been like, you two have just been bloody broken up.
You fucking hate him.
You hate that boy. But it wasn't. It was because I was just like, I was so insecure, I think. I was insecure with us that I didn't think as I was doing it, I'm insecure, let me post this photo. But it came from oh my God, let me show people how happy we are again.
You're proving it.
I'm proving it to people that we were happy. And that's why I don't buy it, to be honest.
It is. Just, you have to look at it and not take it as what you see, because it never is that. It never is that. But it is hard sometimes when you're just scrolling through and you catch a picture of something and you just like absorb it, and then you're like, oh, I feel shit.
I'm very much ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, I don't like that. That's not giving me good vibes. Bye.
It's true. The thing is as well though, what I've noticed, and it's funny because I never really had it with my friends. I would have it with random people, you know, who had a large following, or celebrities, or any of those people. But with my friends, I never really felt like that.
Because you know them.
Because you know them.
And you know they go through ups and downs and have normal lives.
You know their lives aren't perfect. But interestingly, I was speaking to a girl who is now kind of a friend of mine, this girl called Alice, and she was really struggling during lockdown because she didn't have a job, and she said she couldn't even, she was like, I don't follow any celebrities, I only follow people that I know. And I can't even go on social media because just seeing a friend of mine on holiday in I don't know, I can't think of any advice, but yeah, like Italy or somewhere like that, or Greece. It's Greece. It's always Greece. And she was like, I would see them on holiday and I would be so triggered. I'd feel like shit. And it's because she doesn't have a job. Her life isn't going, you know, how she wants it to. And she was like, even though they're people I know, I am still comparing myself to them, and it's still making me feel like shit. And I was like, yeah.
But that's a deeper issue though, isn't it? Because how old is she?
I think she's in like mid-30s.
Mid-30s, yeah. But if you're, it's just a bad place to be. I think if you're not confident in a good place,
that's exactly what it is.
It can be such a like cold,
cold
world because it's like an addiction again, where you're like, oh, let me just see this. Let me look at these people, and like for me personally, I would see it more as a motivation to be like, right, I'm gonna get my life together. But I can also see
when you're feeling
if I was hungover, and it's sat in bed like alone watching people when they're couples, I can see.
I think that is definitely the crux of it, because when I go on there and I feel fine in myself, it doesn't really get to me. I'm just like, oh yeah, they're like cool, good for them, they're having a great time in the Maldives or whatever. But when I'm sat at home like rotting in bed, hungover, and it's pouring with rain, and I'm like, I'm never gonna go to the Maldives. That is, it is just how your perspective is, I guess.
So have you found the pandemic's obviously made it worse?
50 million times.
50 million.
But this is what I mean. I feel like I've always been quite active on it because of my job and...
Exactly. That's where the issue is there. Because we were speaking about this not that long ago, and I was like, I'll just come off it. If I'm not... Like, I didn't understand why everyone kept deleting their profiles, did I? I was like, why are you all deleting your bloody profiles? You're only going to come and bloody
Everyone's making a stand.
Yeah, I was like, you're making a stand, but you're going to re-download it in a few days. No offence. And, like, it's fine. You are at will to do that. But, like, I just didn't understand this kind of, like... It's like an obsession. It's like, I've got to get it out of my life.
I've done it now.
Yeah, it's like, I've got to get it out of my life.
Yeah.
But then they'll download it again. Yeah. And I'm just like, I've not had that relationship with it. So I don't know what point I was making. The point I was making was that I'm not tied to it.
Yeah.
If I came off social media now, it wouldn't really matter.
You'd miss those hot Victorians.
I'd miss those. Don't talk about the hot Victorians.
That's about it.
Right, the hot Victorians is basically this website where it shows you fit people who had died, and Gabby...
Amy follows an account called...
Don't judge me, it's hilarious.
Hot Victorians.
Yeah, it's funny.
Which, I kid you not, we went on holiday last year and we weren't even as close as we are now. And she literally... I looked over her shoulder and she's looking at these pictures of old, what looked like ghosts. People. I was like...
Black and white photos, Gab.
Black and white on Instagram. Like, I've never seen any of those kind of photos on Instagram before.
Yeah, but do you remember when I was hungover and I said to you guys, I was like, guys, does anyone else look at dead people when they're hungover? And you lot were like...
Everyone's eyes were literally just sideways.
But I'm talking about, like, history. I love history. Anyway, this is why...
The extent of her following is of fit, dead Victorian people.
Yeah, this is why I can come off it.
So she's
Maybe
fine.
I do have a weird obsession.
But yeah...
So you're tied to the industry.
I'm tied to it. I'm on it a lot. I get work through it. I see people... I think the problem is I get work through it and all of my work kind of community and space is very active on it too. So I go on there and everyone's posting about the work they're getting and what they're doing and I've done this piece and it's the equivalent of for you if by some weird dystopian world everyone that worked in property,
it's like sales. If you're working in a sales environment and you're seeing all of your colleagues get sales and you're not.
Yes.
I've been in that environment. That's really tough and really the pressure you put on yourself is like awful.
I think I never used to. So I knew when I started my job that I could make my Instagram solely work related, or I could have it as separate and my Instagram's for my life and I put pictures of my friends and when I'm going out and we're going for dinner or I'm drunk. Now looking back, that was a foolish decision, but that's fine. And it's only really now that I've gone freelance that I've realised I have to use my Instagram for work because times are tough, in case you didn't notice. So everyone else is doing that, and it's just become this place of endless, excessive self-promotion. Anytime someone does a piece of work, whack it up on social media. And I'm not saying there's a problem with that, because I do it now too. Like, do you remember I said to you guys, I was like, it makes me feel awkward. But it's more how you... But I have to do it.
Yeah. But no, of course you have to do it, because at the end of the day, this is your work, and I think the reason why it must be really difficult for you is because you don't feel like you have a choice and therefore control. And I think the element there is you feel out of your depth with it sometimes. Whereas for me, I don't know why I've just turned to a therapist there.
That was good.
That was quite deep. That was quite deep. I don't know why I went there.
I'll be invoicing you after the end of the session.
No, but do you know what I mean? Whereas I'm in control of it, and I think that's where I have the power. Yeah. And I think because for you have to put your work up and you have to do it. It's that have to that I think just
it does.
Really hits home.
It kills me, but I think as well, naturally, self-promotion isn't in my nature. Like, it's not something
you're not a person
I enjoy.
No.
I hate it. Yeah. And so that's the other side of it, where it's like, I feel like I have to do it.
But that's your career.
I don't want to do it.
In any career, you have to be like that.
I don't want to do it, but I have to, because otherwise I sit back and watch everyone else excel whilst I'm at home like, oh God, it's so embarrassing if I post that one article that I wrote. Everyone's going to think I'm so annoying.
But you've got to see it as different to being, like, you see it as annoying. God, annoying for yourself to put that up. When actually, people might want to read the stuff you're putting up. You're actually providing, like, something that's... I always think, if you're just posting photos of yourself, just of selfies, what use are you bringing? Golden hour. But if you're posting something like, I've just written this article, it's not you promoting yourself, it's more you being like, right, I have some useful piece of advice, which I mean, I already know it, but you lot might find it useful.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
You got to see it differently.
That is true.
Mate, if I had to start putting self-promotion on rugby, of Hot Victorians, of anything that I have, any hobbies that I have.
Imagine if every time you made a sale, you had to post it on your...
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
I might start doing that.
Oh,
set up a separate account.
Yeah, I might tell people.
Sales account. Yeah, I think that is what it is. And it's also the feeling of... So now I think we all have to accept that social media has evolved. It's not what it was. It's not, oh, I love this photo of my dog. I mean, it is still my dog looks cute, but back in the day it was...
I don't mind looking at dogs.
I don't mind looking at dogs. Dogs are great. But back in the day it was literally, I'm having a nice family holiday and my dog looks cute. Like, that was it. There wasn't really work posted on... Can you imagine back in the day posting your work on social media? Like, it just wasn't a thing.
Stick to LinkedIn.
But we have to accept that now... it is a platform for work because of the way the world has evolved and the way that social media's evolved. But I find...
For you. We've got very different
creative industries.
worlds.
Yes, sorry. So obviously if you work at Barclays, you're going to be listening to this like, what the fuck is she talking about? But like, everyone that works in a creative industry, I think probably feels my pain and suffering to some degree. But now the backside of that is this feeling when I go on social media and I find someone else new. There's always someone else who pops up, and I've just been stalking and it's led me through this web of stalking. And I come across someone and in their bio it says like CEO of 4 companies, author of 2 books, podcast host, jewelry designer, and the president of America. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I go on their post and it's literally like the first post is celebrating my 22nd birthday, and I'm literally there like, somebody killed me. Like, it's just too much.
Do you know what it reminds
me
of, though?
Unsafe environment.
No, but how much of that is real? Like, I think I could
lie about that.
Well, look at people's CVs. Look, you can write so much like stuff about yourself. Do you remember when we were talking the other day about there are some really good, you know what I'm going to say right now?
I have no idea.
Some really good motivational speakers.
Good Lord.
But there are also some who like fake it till they make it.
Of Instagram.
The underbelly of it. The
Can I just say before, I'm not trying to be like, me and Amy are 3 days away from setting up a self-help company, so...
Yeah, because it
we're
seems
not bashing
like
you guys are all doing really well right now.
You don't need to be a professional to do it, that's what I'm saying.
No, you do not.
Just got to read a couple of books. But what I'm saying is that if you got to fake it till you make it sometimes.
It's all a lie.
It's all a lie.
All a
it's a
lie.
fallacy. Yeah. It's a fallacy.
I don't know. We're just all working towards this bullshit thing, aren't we?
This is the thing. What are you working towards?
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
What's the point of this
podcast?
I
don't want to be... I hate it here.
I hate it here.
I actually had a question for you. A genuine question.
No.
So, you know, we both watched the Social Dilemma, right?
The one where I fell asleep.
You didn't watch the Social Dilemma. But I was quite traumatised. I was actually very traumatised because the little girl who's staring in the mirror and then smashes the glass thing to get her phone out, I was like, that's me.
Well, I saw that bit. Yeah, that was
me.
That's a bit weird.
I am that child.
So what question do you have?
It really made me think about how much it affects everyone now, but how much it's going to affect the younger generations and going forward. You know, we've only had this for the last, I don't even know how many years. Like 10 years? No, not even that. We didn't have it when we were in school.
I was playing Snake on my Nokia in school when I was about 8.
I was like, what are you playing? Yeah, Snake, exactly. It was BBM was the most...
I remember when my mum bought me a BlackBerry, a purple BlackBerry
I had
for
BlackBerry.
school in high school, and it was the best moment of my life.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
So the question is, right now, would you, if you had a child right now... Mm-hmm. God forbid, would you let them have social media? Honestly.
That's a question.
And before you answer, I will give you this one example that broke me. My best friend who lives in Australia is a teacher, and I don't even have the emotional and physical strength to go into how much I hate TikTok, but she was telling me when we were talking about social media, having a rant a while ago, that she looks after 2 girls, one is 8 and one is 10. They're addicted to TikTok, right?
Yeah,
she was like,
I've seen the young generation addicted to it. Yeah.
She's like, they are absolutely obsessed with it. They spend hours learning all of these TikTok dances. She sent me this
sexual
video.
TikTok.
Right.
Dick
duck.
No, dick duck.
Yeah, they basically may as well be. And she sent me a video of these 2 children dancing to that song that I'm a Savage. You know that dance?
So can I just give you a quick example as well? I went to see my sister's in-laws, and there were these 2 beautiful young girls there, must have been about you know, like 9 and 13 or something, cousins, and they were teaching me how to twerk, because they were like, oh, I know how to twerk, I learnt on TikTok, do you want to see how to twerk? And I was literally like,
word for word based on
where's this parent?
Where's the adult supervision?
So in answer to your question, I don't think I could shield them from it, because I think either way they're gonna be online. The only thing I could be able to do is try and educate them to look past what they're seeing. Do you know what I mean? So one, I would limit. The thing is, it's like, you can't. It's forbidden fruit. Then they're gonna want to be it. They're gonna want to go on it.
If you take something away from a child, it will be the thing they want the most.
All I'd want to do is just try and educate them on it. Just try and be like, this isn't your life. I'm not gonna let it be your life. I will let you go on it for an hour. I'll fucking look as well. I won't even tell them. I will look and see what they're looking at, and then, you know, be like, that's it. That's all you don't need. And then I will push them to be creative and just be out there, be in the moment. But it will be a bloody tough fight. Have you seen it nowadays? And I'm not judging parents at all, because I'm not parent and I could never understand how hard it's going to be or what troubles people are going through. But it does worry me, the amount of kids like glued to televisions and stuff.
Yeah. No, my auntie's children, she was very much in the mindset that wrap them up in cotton wool. Absolutely.
It's the worst thing you can do.
She was like, no phones, you're not going to go on any computer, no video games. Lo and behold, they are now all obsessed. They are like tech, like whiz nerd children. They're obsessed with computers, they're obsessed with video games, because she wouldn't let them have them when they were growing up.
Exactly.
And it's like, if you see all your friends with something that you can't have, you will become absolutely obsessed with it. And it just completely backfired. And I worry, because I'm just like, I don't want... Even just some of the messages that I receive on Instagram, like DM messages.
I think that
my child,
the social media side of it, from the social dilemma, is the one thing that did scare me. It's the younger generation. It was a bit where he said, we're living in a matrix, but we're lucky because we knew what it was without the matrix. But what happens if you've never known, and this is the life? And it was the suicide rates that increased for me. That really, really got to me. And I think, when you're growing up, like, you're so susceptible.
Your brain hasn't fully developed when you're a young child.
And you're just looking at these beautiful girls who are like...
I actually...
Like, I'm sorry, but we need to stop... Like the way young children look now and the way they are. But you know what? We have to adapt. We can't just be like, take it off. You have to adapt and grow and change.
I'm not joking. I remember at school, I was addicted to reading magazines, and I would literally... be looking through magazines, looking at models, but at least there was no filters. Like they were, compared to what you see on Instagram, normal people, and that still, as an impressionable young girl, made me feel bad. So
before it was magazines. It was magazines. Wait, you had to go out and buy.
Yeah, so
not wait, it was shoved in your face every day.
It's not on the same scale, but. Yeah, so the only final thing that I just want to really quickly talk to you about, because I know you have to go on a date, is... just going to drop it in.
We'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Third
date, by the way.
Yeah, I have to make dinner and stare at the wall. So what do you think you should do? What things should you implement to help with social media? Maybe I should... Well, no, you start, because you've got more insight.
Do you know what? Sometimes it's like a breakup. It's like a breakup. You have to get rid of the addiction. So stuff that I do, I've noticed it affects my sleep massively.
Oh, God.
So I will charge my phone on the other side of the room. If my phone is dying towards the end of the day, I won't charge it. You are good
for that, actually.
I'll then charge it in the evening, so then I have to put it away from me. I'll read a book before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I will unfollow accounts that have no use for me. If they're not giving me any educational, if they're not hot and old...
If they're not hot and dead, anyone that's alive is fucking going.
No, but you know what I mean? If I get nothing from them, if all I'm getting is
positivity
no positivity, I'm going to unfollow them. I will create a safe little environment in my little bubble, and that will be me. So for someone who doesn't really get affected by it, I would just recommend those couple of things.
Yeah, I agree. I think the savour and use the mute button as much as you possibly can, because there's a lot of people that I don't feel like I can unfollow, but I don't want to see what they're doing, so just go and fucking mute them.
You actually have to be a bit hard on yourself though. It's not like, oh, wishy-washy, like, oh no,
I know,
maybe I shouldn't. No, just unfollow them.
And you need to just, I think if you have spent a whole, sometimes I'll just go on a binge and there's a lot of good memes, I'm like, right, that's it, it's going to be a social media day. Then the next day I'm like, right, limit yourself now, you've spent pretty much all fucking day on social media.
Yeah.
The next day, have some self-respect and just live your life for a second. So yeah, you know, it's just when you've been on it too much, I can feel myself getting more anxious, more overwhelmed. You just got to take a step back and be like, right, regroup.
Yeah,
recenter,
just understand what you're doing. Don't try and deny it. Retrain.
Sorry. Too soon. Yeah, that's all of our wisdom for today.
I mean, not much wisdom there, but if one person listens to that and thinks,
there was quite a wisdom,
yeah, all right then, I'm gonna follow Hot Victorian, see what this is about, then I've done my job.
Yeah.